Hi, welcome to Stable Mind Yoga. I'm Kat and this session is about letting go of the old, welcoming in the new. And as I'm filming this now, we're moving from winter into spring. The weather has been a bit changeable. It does feel like we're going a little bit backwards and forwards between the two seasons. But there is that sort of feeling of letting go of that winter energy and then welcoming in this new energy that just is much more active. Okay, so we're going to start by coming down into Swan Pose. Okay, so I like to, I'll just explain quickly, before meditation, I often take myself through a few postures to make my body more comfortable for meditation and also to help settle the mind. Often if we're coming to this and we've already had quite a lot going on in our day, it could even only be sort of quite early in the morning and the mind's thinking about lots of different things. So it just helps settle the mind so we're more able to focus on the meditation. Okay, so just come into Swan Pose to start off with. So just onto your heels, let the bottom sort of sink towards the heels and then the forehead down towards the mat. And stretch the fingers out wide, so it's quite an active stretch. Bring your awareness to your breath. Breathe into the tummy. Notice the sound of the breath here as well. If you find this pose uncomfortable, then you can place a cushion sort of on top of the calves and sort of make that gap smaller between the calves and the backs of the thighs. Sometimes if we're quite tight in the hamstrings, then it can be not always necessarily the most comfortable position, so I appreciate that, so you can make it a bit more comfortable. And then inhale, we're going to come into cats. So just come onto all fours, knees underneath the hips and hands underneath the shoulders. I'm going to just take my socks off. I like starting with my socks on because I like to have nice cozy feet. But once we sort of start moving, it's best to have your socks off. Okay, so from here, tuck under with the pelvis, so you've got a nice flat neutral back, and then as you inhale, lift the gaze, let the tummy relax, push the tailbone away. Exhale, tucking the tailbone under, relaxing the head between the arms, looking between the legs. So this cat-cow movement is a really lovely pose. It helps to just loosen up through the spine, also can nice stretch through the shoulders. Both areas of the body that need some attention every day, and it also really helps us focus on the breath with the inhale and the exhale. So this is a pose that I would always recommend to do every day. Good, and then from here, just going to do a little calf stretch. So you're just going to bring your right leg out in line with the hip, push the heel away, toes towards you, and then bring the toes down to the ground. Look at the mat. So you've got a nice long spine, and there's no sort of arch in the neck there. So it's a nice neutral neck. Breathing in. Exhaling, just imagine that breath going down the back of the leg and into and out, through that right heel. So I just want, through spring, I like to think about creating more space. You think about spring cleaning, so you're just creating a little bit of space, getting rid of the clutter. But that's not just on a sort of from a material point of view. This is, from emotional, maybe mental point of view, that maybe we've cluttered the mind, the emotions, even the body just feels like it's, you know, got a lot going on, and this is this time to sort of let go, create space, create length. Okay, now bring that knee in, swap over, go over left leg out behind you, push the heel away, toes towards you, then bring the toes down and push the heel away. So you should feel this in the calf. Inhaling down to the tummy, exhaling through that left leg and out through the left heel. So it's just good to give the mind something else to focus on. And that's what we're trying to do, is direct and focus the mind. The mind likes to think. That's what it's designed to do. So sometimes those thoughts can be very distracting, and there can be lots of different thoughts going on, and then it's hard to really sort of narrow them down, and then sometimes it makes us less productive. So meditation is really about training the mind to be more focused, and then with that we become more productive. One more breath. Inhale, drop bring that knee back in. Exhale, push back into swan again for a moment. Good, just another breath there. Inhale, come into cat again. Tuck the toes under. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk the legs out. So this is just a really nice soft downward facing dog. It's not anything too strenuous, okay? Nice movement through the hips. The head can just move from side to side. Inhale, back into cat. And then exhale, push back onto the heels, but we're coming up to like more of a seated position. Again, if you find this uncomfortable, you can pad something here, or choose to sit cross-legged, maybe legs out in front, but try here for a little while, because it's a good stretch onto your feet. Inhale, we're just going to bring the arms in front, interlace them, then turn the palms away. So I'll just turn on the side so you can see. Okay, and then when we're here, relax the head between the arms, and the back, it's not arch, but I want you to think about creating that stretch in between the shoulder blades, so that it's a widening, broadening feeling. Okay, good. Just bring the arms down. Bring the hands together. Inhale, up towards the ears, draw the shoulders back and down the body. Lift the gaze, lift the heart space. This may be enough here, or you may want a stronger stretch and just take the arms away from the back. And then notice how the breath feels tighter as you breathe in. So this is where I want you to just take it in really gently into the body. You're still having a nice deep breath in, but you're taking it in gently. Okay, relax the arms. And then just bring the legs in front for a moment. Just come onto the sit bones. Just want you to bring the right leg in, step it over the left, and then hug in that right leg with the left arm. Bring your right hand behind you. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, turning to the right. The left leg, make that active. Push the heel away, toes towards you. So you can still feel a stretch down the back of that leg. Making the most of the opportunity to stretch different parts of the body. Okay, bring the head back to the center. Bring the shoulders back round. Good, and then just let that right leg go long, left one comes in, step it over the right, hug that right leg in with the left arm, bring the left arm behind you, inhale, lengthen up through the spine, exhale, turn to the left. Remember that right leg, push the heel away, toes towards you. Breathe into the tummy. Okay, and then bring the gaze back, bring the head back and the shoulders. Let that leg go long, hands behind you, a little shake out with the legs. Okay, good. And then we're going to now come into a seated position for meditation. So your choice for that. I like to generally sit onto the back of my heels. Now I've got a meditation stool here as well. It doesn't matter if you haven't got one. But I use that especially for longer meditation. So, you know, for sort of over 15 minutes, then I'd prefer to sit on that. But I can sit onto the back of my heels quite comfortably. It might not be that way for you, so maybe cross-legged is more comfortable, legs out in front, or use a chair, preferably sort of a harder chair, and not so we're just kind of leaning back into it. We've still got the spine nice and upright so that we can really breathe effectively. Okay, so closing the eyes now. So just settling yourself and making sure that you are touching the ground in some way. So it could be the feet, might be the feet, the legs and the sit bones, maybe just the sit bones and the feet. So I just want you to just be touching the ground in some way. So this really helps you feel settled, grounded, supported, and really important to feel those things. Okay. Notice the breath. How is it? So it's just being aware of the breath at the moment. Let's scan in through the body now, noticing how the body is right now, in this moment. Not how it was, not maybe how you expect it to be, just how it is. We're going to start by focusing on the crown of the head to start off with. So bring the awareness to the crown of the head, and then bring it to the back of the head, to the face. Soften through the face, the jaw, the mouth. Notice the neck and the throat. Notice the tops of the shoulders. And from the tops of the shoulders, follow the awareness down the arms to the hands and the fingers. Awareness to the upper part of the chest, the upper part of the back, the shoulder blades, the space between the shoulder blades, now to the heart space. A bit further down to the solar plexus, which is below the breastbone and above the navel. Awareness to the middle of the back, then to the lower back, to the tummy, to the front of the pelvis, to the hips, to the back of the pelvis and the sacrum. Awareness to the thighs, to the knees, to the calf muscles and shins,
to the ankles, to the feet, and to the toes. Noticing how the body feels. Awareness to the breath again. And so I was saying at the beginning about the energy that maybe we're feeling within ourselves, but also around us. So we're kind of in this in-between phase between winter and spring. That the earth is starting to awaken, really seeing signs of that around you. So I want you to bring to mind now, what signs of spring have you seen outside in nature? What have you seen? The grass growing, changing colour, just becoming brighter. Seeing different plants starting to emerge and pop up, like spring flowers. The birds are definitely busier. Maybe there's a particular spring flower that you really love. Makes you smile thinking, oh, spring's here. And so we've gone from a time of contemplation, winter, moving into now a time of action, into the spring. And how's that making you feel? We could be really welcoming that. Maybe the energy change has been a little bit unsettling. And if you're finding that, then be kind to yourself. Just allow yourself to take the time to move into that new energy field around you. You don't all have to go at exactly the same pace. The light is starting to expand, getting more daylight hours. We're going from a moon energy into more of a sun energy. And let's focus on the breath again. This is our anchor. The breath is our anchor to the here and the now. So sometimes we can get stuck in the past. Sometimes we can worry or think about the future too much. Yes, we do need to think about it in some ways, but we can get too caught up in that. And by being a little bit more present, that can usually help us to feel more stable. And the breath can really help that and allow us to feel anchored. So breathing in through the nose, down to the tummy. Exhaling, breath coming out through the body, through the nose. Just following the journey of the breath in and out of the body. And when the mind wanders, which it will do, just bring it back again to the breath. So you'll catch it doing it. And you've like gone off on a little trail of thought. And then you just bring it back to the breath again. So we're training the mind to be more present and focused. noticing now where you're touching the ground again. Feeling the support. Noticing the breath. How's the breath? And just allowing yourself to follow the sound of the bell until it becomes silent. And then just inhale, sweep the arms up, bring the hands together, draw them down into the heart space, and just bow the head, close the eyes. So just noticing how the energy is within you, how it is around you. Again, noticing the breath. Namaste.